So I got a question on this kind of sneaky factoring problem. So this is in the root section, and it is the exact same factoring as we have done in the past. So if we thought of a problem that was like x squared minus 6x plus 8 equals 0, and then said, what would we do about this? That's going to be the same thing we do about this. And then the trick is just getting yourself to see that those two things are the same problem, because then you know how to do this one, hopefully. And if you're having struggles with remembering how to factor this from the previous class, there is actually a little review in section 5.1 right at the beginning of that. If you do need a little review of factoring, it's a prerequisite for this class, but it's not always a skill people are real fresh on. So 5.1 is where you can see a few examples of that. So anyhow, remember to factor this one, we would go what times what makes x squared, and that sets up in those first slots because we're kind of doing a reverse FOIL. And then on the other end, we're saying what times what makes 8, and at the same time adds to be negative 6. So that is going to be a 2 and a 4, doesn't matter the order I put them in, and the 2 will be negative and the 4 will be negative, so that they multiply to be a positive and add to be the negative. Okay, so that's our regular factoring, so just a little review of that. Over here, it's recognizing that whatever is in this middle right here, that's how this is going to split up. This is going to go root q, and then if you look at what I just did, oh, I should have finished solving over here. My bad. X equals 2, x equals 4. We'll care about that in a second. But over here, if you look at what I just did, root q times root q, there's our plain q, because if you go root q, that is root q squared. And the square does the root. So then what multiplies to be 8 adds to be negative 6. It's the exact same negative 2, negative 4 from over here. And then we just set each of those to 0. And in this case, I just did in my head, right? I brought it over and got the 2. When I do that here, I'll have one more step because I don't have plain q, I have root q. So I'm going to square both sides on that. And then that will get us plain q equals 4. Likewise over here, right, root q is going to equal 4. So then when I square, plain q will equal 16. So that is one way to look at that, and that's a really easy way, is whatever is in the middle here, that is how it's going to split. And so if I rewrite this, and this was what the person mentioned in the comments, that is the same thing as saying square root of q squared minus your 6 square root of q, and then this is just acting like your x. It's in this exact same form, plus 8. For me, I usually think of it as hopping down to here into that split up form, but there it is, root q squared. So that's exactly what's going on there. Thor's butt is going to make an appearance in this video. Hello, Thor in your butt. Okay, I have no more example to do with this. The other thing that you could do, let's scoot this over here, is think of this as a fractional exponent. So then this would be q minus 6 q to the 1/2 plus 8 equals 0. And now if I use that same logic, that middle term, if this is in the form of a quadratic, that's going to tip me off on how it's going to factor. So now I got q to the 1/2, Same thing, what multiplies to 8 adds to be negative 6, so our same negative 2, negative 4. And if you look, q to the 1/2 times q to the 1/2, remember we add our exponents, so that would be q to the 1/2 plus 1/2 equals q to the first. That's exactly what we had there. So what we're basically doing is taking the square root of this thing, square root of q, there it is, square root of q written as a fractional exponent, there's our 1/2. And then from there it solves out the exact same thing. We would just say q to the 1/2 minus 2, bring it over, equals 2. We square both sides to undo the root, the same as we did here. It just looks a little bit different, and then we're right back at the 4. Cool, hopefully that helps.